Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a propagating dedicated video. I'm actually making a series, so I'm going to be doing a lot of propagating coming up, but I want to focus on the Hoyas for today's video. I recently filmed an entire Hoya collection, and so now I'm ready to start chopping them all back. So I have my own plant shop, if you did not know, and I grow primarily everything out through my own plants. So a lot of these plants are what I call mother plants. So I let them grow and then I cut them back, I let them grow again. And so those propagations I set up as small plants to grow out and then I sell. I figured that would be a fun process for you guys to see, and then I'll show you how I set them up to grow. And then the cuttings that I take today probably won't be ready for, I would say, a good 6 to 8 weeks, some longer. It really just depends on the particular plant and how quickly it grows. I'm gonna start here in my rhode cabinet. I was just getting a pair of shears and then I just clean them with a little alcohol. In my rhode are a lot of my favorite Hoyas. So I may not be propagating a ton of these yet, but I just wanna go through and take a look and see who's ready to get chopped or where I can take some cuttings. This one here, this Hoya serpens, has not been propped yet. I got it as a cutting, so it really hasn't had a chance to grow. But I kind of want to take a little strand to grow so I can work on filling this out, and I'm hoping by me chopping it'll activate some nodes down lower, whereas it can create multiple vines that can grow, because right now this one vine is not growing very quickly. And then I'm just going to chop. I will chop this again, but for right now I'm just going to do larger sections until I get through my entire collection, and then I will go through and chop them again, clean them, and then set them up. So I have a couple of these trays. I'm just going to plop it right down in here. And my goal for today's video to fill these 2 trays up with Hoyas. I'm not going to chop my top phase right now, like my newer ones, because I really want those to grow some more. Let's go ahead and take a strand of my Hoya Matilde, my very splashy one. I love this one. So we have a lot of new growth coming in. And what I'm looking for is, I'm thinking about cutting back on this strand here because it's still growing splashy, but it's not as splashy as some of the original leaves down here. So I'm thinking maybe cutting this like right in between the very splashy piece and the not so splashy piece, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna chop right here. Oh, so I have that section. Because I'm letting this one regrow. I had chopped it not too long ago, so it's just now kind of regrowing. I took a lot last time I chopped that one. And let's see. I'm going to chop a little bit on the Heshkliana. I really like this Hoya too, so I don't really want to cut it, but I do want to chop a little bit away. I'm just going to even it out, so I'm going to do right here. And just take one section. Oh, let's do this xoxo. This is a fun one. This is called zebra skin, and I really like this one. I took a few propagations last time, but this here got caught up in the rhode cabinet, this top section, and so a lot of leaves fell off. So I'm gonna go ahead and prop this strand. So it looks like there's a growth point coming in here. Here, there's a new growth point. Here as well, there's a new growth point. Oop, and here. There's a new growth point. So it's growing in multiple spots. I'm going to cut it back to where this growth point is coming in. I'm going to just go ahead and cut all the way back here on this vine. Right there. Boop. And that's all I'm going to cut. I'm going to let this other side grow a bit more before I chop that one away. Once I get a lot of vines growing, then I can chop one back, let those other ones grow. That one will regrow. I'll chop another one back. If that makes sense, I want the plant to continually grow. I don't want to cut all the vines away and then it takes a bit to regrow. Hoyas are very sappy, of course, when you cut into them, the white sap. So I may get sap everywhere. I might have to be careful about that. And what else do I want to cut in here? I really don't want to cut my Matilde variegated. I cut it a lot last time, and so it now has 2 growth points, whereas before it was just 1. And I think there is a third one down here growing now. because that's my goal, is when I chop it to make it bushy. I think I'm gonna wait on this one. I'll wait till next time. I'm gonna let these nodes grow a bit more. I'm gonna do Hoya Bella. I'm just gonna do a long section here. Because this one is now growing in 2 spots where I cut it before. It's where I cut it before, so it's now growing 2 sections, and then it's also growing down here. So now there's 3 vines, and then I cut over here this time, so this should hopefully activate at least 1 spot. So I'm trying to create multiple growth points so I can easily chop vines back at different intervals. Okay, this is where I cut before, and it is growing below now. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this vine here. I'm gonna do a section right here. Mint coin, I feel like I'm always chopping this one back. It grows so fast. Let's see. That was a big section, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this section too. And we're cutting a lot on this one because it grows so quickly and it's still pretty full. I'm pretty familiar with the Hoyas that I have, so I can mix them up and know which ones they are, but if you have similar varieties, it's best to separate them or keep them separated so that you can easily recognize, because when you get down to cutting, sometimes like one node cuttings, it can be difficult to tell them apart unless you're just really familiar with your Hoyas. This one I wasn't going to cut because it's starting to grow, but I had ripped it here. But it's pushing multiple growth points down here now, so I am really tempted to cut this one. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one, you guys. I did it. So inside the rhodsta, this is all that we were taking for today. Oh, you know what? I lied. I'm gonna go ahead and take one more, I think. This new one that I got, because it is pushing another growth point. Yes. This Crassiopetalata splash throughout this long tendril, so I'm gonna prop what's here. I'm gonna cut some of this one away. This one just started growing, but I'm gonna do this long strand here. Just the one though. Should I cut the Argentina princess back? It only activated 1 growth point since where I chopped it, the end of it off before. But I might chop it back as like right before where I had chopped it. It's done. Oh, I'm kind of sad that I did that. Oh no, I'm kind of sad about that. It'll regrow. Maybe I'm hoping it activates more growth lower. So there we go. Oh yes, this is one that I've been wanting to chop back again. Yay. Even though it's throwing a long tendril, this is the Wilbur Graves. I love this one so much. So this is just one long vine here. And where I had chopped it last was, maybe I can't take that much. I feel like it didn't activate anything else. It's just the one vine now, because this other one isn't growing. Oh, there is a growth point, I think. I'm gonna chop it back. So this is kind of tricky. So there's only one, it looks full, but there's only one vine because this one here hasn't started growing yet. And so where I had cut before, this long vine is the new node. So I want to leave a node from where I cut before. So I'm going to cut right here. I don't know if that's making any sense. Right here. Okay, and then I'll have this long vine to work with. There we go. There is our cutting. She's so short now. So she won't get chopped again for a while. But yeah, this is pretty much my entire process and how I go about doing this. I won't do every single Hoya with you just to save on time, but I am dying to cut this one again. I want to cut this big chunk here. I'm going to cut right here, you guys, right down here. We're going to do this entire section. It's done. Look at all those pretty blooms. Okay, so it has this growth point, this growth point. I'm gonna let this one grow more, and then that'll probably be the next one that I chop, this tall one here. That'll give this one time to grow. I'm gonna risk this half moon, not half moon, this all white one here. I wanna cut this node. I'm hoping that it'll activate this lower one because this top one wasn't growing, but I hope since I chopped it, it'll grow for cutting for someone. This one's growing all white. It looks like it's growing white here too. But here's one that's growing. Shoot. I really want to cut this one. This one's so nice. I don't really want to cut this one yet. Shucks. I'm going to do it though. I'm going to leave a node for it to grow. Okay, so I'm going to leave all those vines to continue growing. For the regular Polynura, I take a big strand. I think I'm just going to do one because I have a lot of Polynura right now. I just took one big strand like this. And I'll prop this up individually. I really like this one too. That's okay. Sap everywhere. Okay, I think I'm going to finish taking all of my cuttings, and I'll come back on with the linearis and show you what I'm going to do with that one, and then I'll show you all the cuttings, and then we'll go on from the cutting process to the next step. I think I'm done propagating. I actually decided to go ahead and take 5 long strands of the linearis that's out here because the one that I was propagating from is so short. I'm like, you know what, I should probably let that one grow and then I can prop that one next time. So I did. Whoa, they're so long. 5 incredibly long strands. And so the 3 Hoyas that are big that I'm thinking about downsizing, I took some cuttings, but I didn't want to overdo it because I am limited on space, so I have to keep that in mind. And then here is everything else. It's crazy. So I have this, and the linearis. The next steps are to propagate this even further. And so I started selling Hoya cuttings now, which I either do 1, 2, or 3 nodes. So some of these smaller ones I'll probably sell as cuttings, but some of the bigger ones I'll most likely just do those as like small plants. I'll cut them as 1 node and then set them up to grow. I have so much here, I don't even know. I have no idea where to begin. Okay, this one, this starts with the V verticulata or something. This is where I had propped it before. It does look like another node over here possibly could grow, but I don't want to chance it because if I cut this section, I'm worried that this bottom growth won't grow. If it does, I could always chop it again, but I'm not sure, so I'm just going to cut it here. Although I don't want to sell it like that though. Should I cut that and take a chance that it will grow? I might do it. I might take a chance and see if it grows. I'm gonna cut that. So this is questionable, this here. And this stem is a little long, so I'll cut some of that away. So I have that section, this section, and then I have this top section as well. So the top section, I don't like to leave these long tendrils on. Most of the time I cut them off and let them reshoot because it's really hard to pack Hoyas with long tendrils because if you bend them, a lot of the times they end up breaking. I can try and save some of these nodes. Sometimes I usually just end up throwing these, like tossing these, but since I do have some nodes to work with, I might try and grow some Hoya out through node cuttings, and we'll see what happens with these. I might throw these in a prop bin. I've never tried growing Hoya wet sticks, but why not try? But this is my process. It does take quite a bit of time, especially after this. Then I have to clean them and then set them all up to propagate. So yeah, it takes a lot of time to do this. So I ended up cutting 2 of this inner variegated Hoya bella, like 2 long sections. This one has a peduncle, which will most likely blast and yellow off. So what I'm gonna do is, since I sell cuttings now, I might take a few of these 1 node sections at the bottom. I might do like 1, 2, 3, and then I might do this one as a 2 node cutting, and then I'll save this section to root out and grow as a small plant, like all those nodes. And then this one, I'm actually just gonna cut this in half and do maybe like right here. So out of this, I have 3 small plants that I will reroot and grow. 2 of these are ends, like this one's an end and this one's an end, so it should grow more quickly because this one will have to activate growth. And then we have 3 1 node cuttings and then 1 2 node cuttings. Let's do this big one. This is Hoya carnosa freckles. This end is low splash, but the other end that's growing is very high splash. So I wanted to get rid of this low end in hopes that it activates maybe even another node on the more splashy side to grow, because you never know. So yeah, same thing. I'm gonna do 1 node cuttings with this. Chunk. Chunk. This stem is too long, cut some of that away. Okay, and then we'll try and save these little wet sticks and see what they do. There's something in my eye within the sap. I don't want to get sap on my hands and my eyes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I just realized this one I had cut before, so I hope this reactivates this one here. But if not, we'll at least have 4 out of that section, and all those will reactivate. Let's do the big Polynura. And like I said, I do 1 node propagations for these as well. These propagate and root so easily for me. So that's the Polynura. I'm gonna clean all the sap off of that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the rest of this. What I'll probably do is just lower you down and speed this up and just play some music so I don't bore you to death. And then I'll come back on when we're ready to clean these. The next step is to clean all of the Hoyas. So I have 2 trays. And what I'm gonna do is rinse them off really good in just some like lukewarm water, kind of more on the warm side. And then I actually just made some new leaf cleaner up. What the heck was that? I heard a noise. It sounded like a turkey. I'm not sure what that was, but I made some new leaf cleaner up. It's the liquid dirt recipe, so I'm trying it out. It's alcohol, 70% hydrogen peroxide, and then peppermint, castile soap, and tea tree. So I diluted the hydrogen peroxide because I don't have 1%. This is 3%, so I diluted it 3 parts water, 1 part hydrogen peroxide. And then I did half the recipe so I could fit it in this bottle. So that's what I'm going to use to clean the Hoyas today. I've been using Pure Crop 1. It's like an all-natural insecticide fungicide, but I'm going to use this new recipe today. And then as I was propagating, you know, for me, Hoyas, the pest that I usually have to deal with is mealies. I was going through a mealy issue there for a while, but thank goodness. The problem seems to have resolved, crossing my fingers. And then these guys go directly into perlite after cleaning. I set them up in usually individual cups if they're big. And then it depends on the plant because sometimes individual cups for however many cuttings I took takes up a lot of space. So what I'll do sometimes is stick multiple cuttings in 1 cup of perlite, and then once they root a bit, I pot them up individually from there, if that makes sense. So it depends on how much room I have and what I do like in the moment. I usually propagate every month, 4 to 6 weeks, give or take. And I let my Hoyas regrow, and same with any of my plants that I'm growing for my shop. And it depends on what I'm selling a week. So usually if I sell, let's just say 40 plants that week, then I need to be making 40 plants the following week to make up for that. And so if I do, say, 3 restocks in a row at 40 plants each, that's 120 plants. So basically in a month, I need to be making about 120 plants. So I usually do a batch of Hoyas, and then I go around to other plants in my collection and decide who to propagate. So since I'm growing everything out, I don't do wholesale. This is kind of my method, and it's been working pretty good. I do want to get more inventory as far as having more plants available, so I'm trying to prop more often if I can. But plants take, you know, so long to grow. I can only cut as much as my plants grow. So if my plants are growing quickly, then I can prop them back faster. And that's why sometimes I like to have multiple mother plants as well, so I can prop one all the way back, and then the other ones will grow, prop a different one all the way back, while the first one I propagated will take time to regrow, if that makes sense. But yeah, it is a lot of work growing everything out. But this is my favorite part though. I love growing. I love propping and growing out all these little plants. Okay, what I'm gonna do with this tray is spray them down really good with my mixture. And I'm gonna get fronts and backs. I'll just like spray this really good. Some of the leaves have sap on them from where I cut, so I'll try and like scrape that off. I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes, and then I wanna give these another good rinse. Sometimes I clean them twice in a row. It really just depends. feel like this is a lot though for one container. I might have to separate these. I'm gonna set this one aside and we'll rinse this one. And usually when I'm rinsing them, I just make sure to clean like their leaves really good. But yeah, I might do this batch one more time just because there's a lot. Well, I almost dropped that. There's a lot in here. While these are soaking though, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get my perlite. I'm almost out of my normal perlite that I use. I buy it a little bit more in bulk, but I do think I have an old thing of Miracle-Gro out in the garage. I do have one on order, but it's not here yet. So I'm gonna use what I have. I think I should have enough for all these and grab all the cups and stuff that I use. And then I set the perlite cups in a tote bin with a little bit of airflow, but it's mostly sealed so that the plants can get super high humidity. That's gonna help them root quicker. And then I'll get them put in the shop room on the bottom shelves under grow lights. And then I just periodically open them up, check on them, make sure that they're doing good. If they need more water, I'll add more, make sure that there's no rotting issues. I would say most of the props do well. There are some on occasion that I get that just end up rotting. It just is the name of the game when you're propagating. But I do feel like most of my props do pretty well. Hi, Jai. Hi. What you want? Huh, buddies? Huh, buddies? All right, I am back. I got these all rinsed off. So there's that tray again. And this tray. Let's see, I'm probably going to need more cups. But I just grabbed a little handful for now. I have cups. I have little strawberry pins. This helps hold the cutting in the perlite because sometimes these one little vines, when you stick them down in the cup, they come right out because they're not rooted. So the strawberry pin helps hold it in there. I'll start potting them up and making this entire table full of props. Yes, buds. No cuddles right now. No cuddles right now. Yeah. I'm about to mess with perlite, kitty cat. You're gonna have to get down. Yeah, it's too dusty for you. Let me put him down. Come here, Jai. I feel like he's gonna come right back because that's just what he does. So here's a cutting. I'm gonna do some with you and then I'll probably just speed some of this up, and depending on how long, it's probably gonna take a while. It is 6 o'clock in the evening right now. I'm gonna see how long it takes me to get all these set up. It's probably gonna take a while. And then I have bigger cups because like I said earlier, I might do some of the same ones in a larger cup of perlite. That way I can, takes up less space. I have 3 different cup sizes over here. water. Okay, something like that. I think I put enough water in that one. So yeah, very long process. Take another guy here. Let's see, I know I have a few of these. So I'm gonna do, actually, these took a bit to root because I propped them for the first time, the Argentina Princess, and they took a bit to root and grow. So maybe it will be good if I put them together. I think I have 4. Yeah, I think I might stick these in a cup like this. Oh shit, oops. Okay, there's that one. I got that all covered. And some might root quicker than others. It really just depends on the particular cutting. I feel like all the cuttings are different. Sometimes they root so fast and I'm able to pluck. Usually what I'll do is pluck the ones that have rooted the most. Like once I start seeing roots, I'll take them out, pot them up. And so I'm always shuffling the plants around in all the bins. So the ones that take the longest to root are obviously going to stay in there the longest. And then if I see one that's rooted fairly quickly, I'll go ahead and take it out and pot it up and transfer it to a different bin. Add some polynura, the outer. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. We'll just go ahead and do these 3. Oh wait, here's another one. 4, I found the rest. 4, 5, was there any more? Okay, we'll do these 5 together in a cup. Put 2-inch water in that one. So there's the polynura. Oh, I left one out. Darn. I'll have to pot that up separately. Well, I might actually be able to stick this one down in here too. Yeah, that should be good. I feel like this has a hole in it somewhere, this jug. I reuse these same jugs over and over again, and I eventually I try to discard an old one. They're like my watering jugs. I buy a thing at Distilled for my cat water fountain, and so I'm usually recycling one of these like once a month or so, or once every 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. If I feel like it's loose, I will secure it. That one. These are kind of big, so we'll do 2 of these together. Green polyneuras, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Any more? And 6. Oh shoot, another variegated one. I'm gonna stick this one down in here too. Okay, I think that's good. I think this might have been it for this one. I'm not making a dent. It's very overwhelming still. I'm gonna have, it's gonna be a lot. I usually do these separately, the discipules. All the blooms are gonna fall off though, but, ooh, I left this one as a big top section. Look at that one. Ooh, let's pop this one up. The blooms are so pretty. Yeah, these will fall. This peduncle will probably yellow, but it blooms so fast. It'll be growing blooms again in no time. Just a little tricky to get these potted in here. These root really weird. I find these mostly just root from the bottom. Like the discipulae won't root along the stem, more than likely. Like, you know how other Hoyas will root all along the stem, but I find the discipulae will really only want to root from the bottom a lot of the time. Oh. My last round of these, I had to throw like 4 away. 4 of them rotted. It was really weird. Like half of them did well and half of them didn't. It's gonna be a really cute plant for somebody. It's cute. Cute, cute, cute. I love the color on the outer Hoya Bella, or the inner. And if I have leaves too close to the bottom node, a lot of the times I just pluck them off so that I have more of a stem to root. Oh, that was too much water. So pretty, pretty, pretty. It is storming right now. It's so dark. Okay, so I just finished potting the last prop up, and it is 7:20. So I think I started at 6, right? An hour and 20 minutes. Has it been that long? Hubby came out to help me a little bit. He's actually in the garage. I had ordered another set of these tote bins. This is what I used to set the propagations in. So he's out there with the soldering iron poking holes in the plastic. I poke holes in the actual bin itself as well as the lid for airflow. And then I will seal it here, like once I put the plants in here. And that pretty much keeps humidity pretty high, even with the vent holes. If I don't have vent holes, I notice things staying like way too humid, too much condensation. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put everyone in here. There's so many plants here. Let me show you really quick. So I stuffed so many plants in a lot of these cups. So once they root, you know, I'll separate them out and plant them up. And then you saw me making a bin of propagations. These are just cuttings. I wasn't sure what to do or how go about that. I didn't want to put them in moss just yet. So I'm gonna let them root a little bit, and then I'll probably pluck some out each week. I do a restock and sell some cuttings. I have a whole section of Hoya linearis, and then that's another set of plants down there. So we made quite a bit here. I'm very happy with the selection that I was able to do this time. All right, I think I'll do one bin of all these Hoya linearis. I do the linearis separately. I do anywhere from like 5, 6, 7 cuttings per thing of perle, and then once they root, I literally just take the whole thing out and pot it up. So these are like individual plants, but I won't sell them until each cutting pretty much has grown a little bit. I'll put like an image of the set that I did last time and about how long they all were. So it could be anywhere from like 6 to 8 weeks. It really depends. Sometimes it's sooner, but by the time they root and actually pop them up and they grow, it does take a bit. I'm a little bit behind on propping linearis. I do have, I think 6 or 8 that I just potted up not that long ago that were growing. So it's probably going to be probably another month before they're ready. I'm not sure. I'll have to keep an eye on how they do. I can actually put some other stuff in here besides the linearis. I was going to do more linearis, but I didn't want to overwhelm myself with too many props right now. I'll probably take some more in another month. I'll probably do like another 5 or 6 long strands. So that filled up about that much of the bin. I feel like the polyneura's root pretty easily. I'm going to stuff these in here. So we just did the regular and the outer variegated today because we're going to let my other polyneura mother plants grow. Wilbur Greaves in here. I'm trying to stuff some of these bigger containers. Let's see if I can do these big ones in here. That one. And yeah, we'll do this one. Okay, so this one is all done. That and then, yeah, like I said, the lid goes on and it gets under the grow lights in there. And that's all I do to root them. Hopefully this will be the last bin. One. I might have a little room in some of the ones that are in the shop room already, so I'll see. If all these don't fit in here, then I think I can squeeze a couple more in with what I have. I'm going to put this big thing of cuttings in here too for right now. I'll have to come up with a better system for the cuttings. Oh yeah, we can make it work. Okay, 2 left. 1 and 2. All right, third bin of plants. Number 3. All right, now let's go make room for these in the shop room. Okay, I turned the settings a little bit differently, so hopefully it's not too bright now. So this entire section here is for Hoyas. I have an empty spot here, an empty spot down here, and then I have a couple bins up top that aren't Hoyas that I need to get off the Hoya shelf. I was just trying to find an empty spot. So let's see, I like to put the newer, freshly plants at the very bottom so they can grow. And then when I just pot them up, I move them up a shelf. And then plants up here are the ones that I usually look to for when I'm doing a restock. I kind of go through and be like, okay, well, this one looks ready. I look at the plant, look at the root system, and go from there. I had already picked the plants though for this coming restock. So they're actually in there, and I'll show you, I'll give you like a look at them. But these I just potted up recently. Let me give you a look. This bin here, so they're all like in their substrate mix. And so these here are example of some Hoya linearis. They just got potted up, like I said, but you can see some of the new growth coming in on all the top ends. So I'm probably gonna let these grow another 2-ish weeks and let them get more of a root system and let them grow a bit more, and then I'll list them. So I have 10 linearis in here from before. And yeah, a lot of these need to continue growing. Let's see, I'm actually gonna move this one up, I think. Or do I wanna move this one? Actually, let me move this one up one. And so I potted up some Hoya discipulae recently too. Here's the one that got potted up recently. So it got switched to substrate, and that bloom actually just opened up on that one. The growth point is barely noticeable down in there. So I'm gonna let that growth point come in more and let it root up a bit more before I think about selling that one. So a few more weeks probably on these guys. Let's see, I need to swap. I need to move one of these bins. These got potted up recently. These are non-Hoyas. Looks like there's philodendron, monstera. I see a syndapsis in that one, so that's going to move. Okay, I'm gonna do this one up top. I don't like to put the new ones freshly potted up top, but I'm just gonna do it for right now until I reshuffle again. I'm gonna be doing a lot of potting up, I think Monday and Tuesday this coming week. So there's gonna be a lot of reshuffling going on. And I need to fit this bin somewhere. I have a spot for it right here that I cleared out the other day. Okay, these are some plants that I picked out for this coming. You just leave it there, I'll get it. For the coming restock here. And so these I felt like were ready enough for sale. Now, before I actually take their photos and do the listings and everything, I'll go through them again and just double check. Sometimes I pick like a plant or two away. I feel like I'm just gonna give it another week to grow because I really don't like to sell them too soon. So for example, here is a Polyneura. This is the inner variegated. So these are the original leaves that I would propagate. And so this one's actually activated 2 growth points. There's a growth point coming in here, and then there's another one right back here. And so I felt like it's rooted enough to go ahead and list. And so by the time I actually take the photos and list them, some of these leaves will harden off a bit. And then it'll probably be like 2 weeks before the customer even gets this, because I wouldn't be shipping these for another 8 days because I'm listing these later in the week for this coming week. And then yeah, it'll probably be another week and a half to 2 weeks before I would say the customer even would get this, so it'll still grow some more. Here's another Polyneura. So these were the original 2 leaves that I propped. And then it has this leaf, and then it's working on a new set of leaves. So I felt like this one was ready, and it is rooted enough in here. So that one will be listing. Yeah, lots of the same ones that we propagated. Like here's one that I felt was ready. This one is Hoya Bella, the inner variegated. So that's what I initially propped, this section here. And it's actually shooting out 3 more growth points. I have one here, and one here. And I don't think this one, no, there's another one here that has a peduncle. And then this one is rooted enough. So yeah, that one will be ready for sale. So I have an entire, like this entire tray I filled with Hoya. So there's gonna be a lot of Hoyas for the next restock. And then I have a tray, I have a lot of alocasia too. I have an entire tray of alocasia that I'm listing for the restock. There's a lot of alocasia. This one will be on the restock, this elbow dragon scale. Look at that new leaf. I feel like it's a half moon. It's so pretty. Yeah, I have a platinum. I haven't sold one of these in a bit. I have Michelitziana. I have some heterophylla. I have some pink polys. Regal Shields, Maharani. I'm selling one of these. I haven't sold one of these yet. It's a pink dragon aria, a little starter. I I have some monstera, phylos, and some other plants down here. Like, here's one that I'm listing. This is the Hederaceum variegated. I haven't listed one of these in a bit. And then I also am selling some of my seedlings. So these ones have grown a bit that I feel like they're ready. So like individual seedlings. I think I have these for $19.50. So yeah, lots of good stuff. I would say there's probably at least 45 plants. The only thing that isn't here that I have to do yet for the restock is cuttings. I need to make up some Hoya cuttings I'm going to add. And then I also need to make up more seedlings. I have my seedling container down here. I need to do that. So yeah, I'm going to spend some time Monday and Tuesday and make plants, and then probably all day Wednesday I'll be taking the photos and doing listings, which takes a half a day as well. And then yeah, I'll probably do the restock Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure when this video is going up. I have my Hoya collection video going up before this one, and I haven't even started to edit it yet. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get this up at least before the weekend. But yeah, that's pretty much my process, you guys, when I propagate. It does take a while, and I love propagating and growing plants out, you know, from my own collection. I would much rather self-grow everything. It's just what I love to do, and I love seeing plants grow into, you know, plants of their own. It's crazy that all these plants started off of my own plants. Even this one I really like. This one's on my site already, this pink nobilis. That's the newest leaf here. It's so pretty. She is a stunner. But yeah, it's a lot of fun for me. It is a lot of work, but I enjoy it. This new glorious leaf is staring at me. So yeah, if you enjoyed this propagating video, stay tuned because I am making, you know, some more videos in this series. I'm definitely going to be propagating some variegated monstera. I might make that a dedicated video, and then I'll probably go around and propagate some other plants and set them up, and I'll show you, because I do set some plants up a little bit differently than just in perlite. I do the Hoyas strictly in perlite now, and then I move them over to tree fern and perlite. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for coming along with me and for being here, and thank you for your support with the shop. Truly, it means so much to me, and I will talk to you again soon.